and welcome to another Board Game Nerds video. My name is Ulrik, and with me today is Ayub.
Hello.
Today we'll be talking about each of our top 10 games from 2025.
Exciting.
It's about that time of year, huh, Ayub?
It's about that time of year.
So, looking forward to hear what you think.
Yeah.
I think we have quite a lot in common, but I also think we have some different stuff.
There might be some different stuff. We do
Different
play
stuff.
a lot together,
Yes.
which of course will make for some crossovers and stuff. The interesting thing is, even if it is a crossover, is it similar on the list or is it high or low? So
And even though we play together, not sure that we like exactly the same things,
that's
right?
true.
So
Not always.
yes, okay. Often we do. But before we get to that,
Mhm.
I have a weird little intro question for you.
Hit me.
Which board game is currently running their world championships right now?
Oh. Am I supposed to know?
Very popular one.
Very popular one. Is it widely recognized? Like many people know it, or is
Yes.
Ah,
Even if you don't play it, you know what it is.
okay. Board game. Is it Ticket to Ride or something like that?
What do you think? It is chess.
Chess. Ah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a trick question.
Yes, of course, that makes sense.
They always have the rapid chess championships between Christmas and New Year's.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't play chess. I like to watch it. I
Yeah.
think it's fun. The whole concept of this brain struggle between the guys and
Yeah, I found it interesting that some of them also started playing this thing where the pieces are randomly
randomized.
started. Yeah,
Yes, it's pretty cool.
that's very cool.
Yeah. Well, is it a board game? Is it not a board game? Let us know. Okay, and one more question for you, Ayub.
Okay.
On the last recording of, maybe not the last, but in the previous recording, you said after watching a video that you might actually want to try a solo game. So my question is, have you tried Rove since I gave it to you when you were last here?
I was actually waiting for me to play together with Jonna, my girlfriend,
Okay.
and we haven't been able to yet. But I looked at it very recently, so
Yeah.
hopefully soon.
So there's a playthrough of Rove on our channel, and Ayub is not the solo player of the group, but
I'm
he
not.
felt inspired, so I'm happy to hear what he thinks.
Yeah,
once
I'm
we
excited.
get there. It's not a 2025 release, so
It's not.
it couldn't make this list anyway. Cool. Should we get to it?
Let's get to it. Boom, boom, boom. Exciting.
Do you have a crossover count?
Oh, no.
I prepped.
Okay, I will say... 6, 7, maybe? Oh, no, I said what the young kids say these days.
I'm too old for that shit stuff.
I'll
I
say
said stuff.
6. I'll say 6.
I'll say 4.
Oh, okay. Mistakes.
I'm
were
sure
made.
we have 4. We might have more.
Well, without further ado, should we get started?
I think actually I can already spoil that you have played all of these games.
All of them?
No,
The thing-
one you haven't played.
Okay.
One you haven't played for sure.
Maybe more. We'll see.
Cool.
I'm excited.
4 and 6. Keep us honest out there.
All right.
Since I was doing all the talking in the
Should I
intro,
start?
I think you should start.
All right. My number 10 is technically a remake of an...
Maybe
Okay.
we should say, at least for me, the criteria for being a 2025 board game is that it is marked as 2025 in BGG.
Yes,
Because it can be different across countries and
true.
mostly from America to Europe and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's at least how I did it.
Yeah, and I think that fits all of mine as well. My first is a remake of an older game. So the new version is from 2025, and it is the Manhattan Project Energy Empire. Really, really cool worker placement game with 14 worker spots. But it has this where you can go to the same spot, but if you go, you need to go there with more energy. So you have these energy tokens, and then you have your worker tokens, and you stack your worker token on top of energy. So if I want to go there and there's nobody, I can just go with my worker. But if you want to go there now, because I'm already there, you need to stack an energy token underneath. Or even from the beginning, you can just go like, I'm going to make sure nobody else can go to this spot.
But does the energy enhance your action then?
No.
It just costs.
Yeah,
okay.
so you can just say, you know what, I'm going to go with 4 energy token here. If anybody else, it's probably not cost efficient for you, but if you're that person, I know some people that would be that people.
Yeah.
You can just go there to make it harder for everybody.
And more in a 2-player game.
And more in a
I
2-player
would
game.
assume.
Whenever the round ends, you get all your workers back, and then you roll some dice that you can get through some of the action spot, and those dice decide how much energy you get. So that's also part of your strategy. Do you just go to the spots where you can and focus on other things, or do you want to get a lot of these energy tokens? Those dice you roll, there are different dice with different strength, but some of the strong one gives you some negative stuff to your board. So there's also a little bit of push your luck, because only the die that you roll the highest with will give you this negative stuff to your board. So yeah, that's very interesting. I think it's pretty cool. The board is also dealt up in 3, and you buy cards from each area, or you can as one of the actions. And whenever you go back to that area, you activate all the cards from that area. So if you go to the green area of the board, all your green cards you can activate.
Okay.
So it also has a little bit of this engine building, exciting feature.
And are you building the atomic bomb or something? Is that what you're doing?
You are well, you are building some different energy sources, but you can go like a cleaner way, or if you use some. Of course, you will get atomic waste, and that will go on your board, and there will be minus points and all of that stuff.
Okay, so it's a more general energy thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Manhattan Energy Empire.
I have not tried it. Sounds a little bit like a game I was hyped about for Essen, the Ember Heart, the dragon thing. It also has the thing where you put a workout and you can stack chips under it and enhance the... Not that it... But not that any of the other games sounds like it, but...
But that reminds you a bit of it.
Yeah.
So Manhattan Project, Energy Empire, and I think it, in a year from now, I'm curious to see if it will rise higher. I tried it at 2 and I tried it at 3. I haven't gotten to try it at 4 yet, and I think that's where it will really shine.
Because the board doesn't scale with player counts?
Just with 2 players, you will have some negative pieces always blocking, but otherwise, when 3 or 4, it doesn't really scale.
Okay. So. Cool. You said re-implementation of an older game. I thought we had a perfect crossover.
Oh.
But I didn't think this would be this low for you, but this is definitely one that I expect will be a crossover, and it is National Economy. This is a game that came out at Essen, which re-implements 3 previous designs, which has the same basic mechanic. We've played it a lot on the channel. You can see at least 3 different videos of it. Maybe there's more by the time this comes out, who knows. Basically, the idea is that you have all the worker placement spots in the game is cards that you just flip every round, which in itself is a very elegant and neat system, which feels like it could branch into many different directions.
Yes.
For these 3 games, they've made them quite similar, but I could easily see someone going in a completely different direction with this mechanic. But basically, you have 4 cards in the beginning, and then 1 new card comes out each round, and these cards are always the same, so you can sort of have a common strategy in the game.
Yeah.
Every turn, you just put a workout on one of these cards, then you can build your own cards, which only I have access to, and Ayub can build his own. It all sounds very simple and easy. It is, until you have to pay your workers.
Those workers.
Yeah, those workers. They need pay, those pesky guys, and the pay increases every round and all of that. It's pretty cool. It has this... you feel like you're building stuff, but then you have to sell your buildings to pay your workers, and so it's a little bit like going back and forth. We've had games where I had like 1 card down, and Ayub had like 8. But usually you build something, you sell it. You build something, you sell it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. One thing that this game does that I haven't seen before is the way the economy works. Whenever you pay something, you generally pay to something called the budget, which is like a box on the table. And whenever I get income, there's an income phase where I get them from outside the game, but most of the cards that can give you money get you money from the budget. And if the budget is empty, tough luck.
Not even if it's just empty.
Yeah, I know you would say that.
Yeah, if it's not full enough. So if you're supposed to get 20, but there's only 19 left.
Tough luck, you can't do that action. Yeah, that becomes a really mind gamey thing between the players.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. That's my number 10.
That's nice. It is so cool that I will mention it now as my number 9.
I thought so.
It was very close. And I actually managed to finally also have a 4-player game of it. And that was cool. Not a lot different, but of course tied in a different way.
There's more building spaces, right?
There is. So that was cool, but there was I had an action on one of my own cards. So like Ulrik mentioned, once you build a card first, they are your own, but later they might go into the common space, where I could get a lot of money from the budget. So I was like, I'm going to wait. And then I realized, there are 3 other people that can take money from the budget, so there might not be enough money So then I did it, and another guy did it, and the third guy was like, "Oh, my plan! I actually can take it from the budget now." And so that was a very different, like, the economy changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Although most of the game was pretty much the same. And as always, I really appreciate games that are easy and straightforward to teach, because all you go like, what can I do? Well, look at the cards. You can place your work on one of them.
Yeah.
That's actually the only action in the game, is going to a card with a worker. And each card will then explain whether it's get some money from the budget, draw some cards, and then this card. So in that sense, I found it very elegant and quite fast to play compared to the complexity of it. So yeah, that's my number 9, National Economy.
Cool. So we have our first crossover.
Yeah.
Keep count out there.
It was almost a perfect crossover.
It was almost a perfect crossover. This next one is a game that I would never have played unless it was for a certain person in our immediate vicinity. Not that I didn't like it, it's just not something I would gravitate towards. And it is Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. How to explain this game? It's huge. It takes up the whole board. It takes you around 12 hours, 15 hours to do a full campaign of 3 sessions. And it is I don't want to say standard, but it's a dungeon crawl feel type of game. You build your character, which the reason it's on my list is because of the character creation. Yeah, it's almost like its own little Euro game.
Yeah.
You pick a race and a class and something else, and then they have stats on each side. So like, I can choose where I put my stats. So this is my strength, and this is my magic, and this is my I can't remember stealth and health and whatever. But if this one goes up, then there's only 2 spots here for my health, and my magic is high, and so there's a lot of choices in that, even in the character creation.
Yeah.
I just went to something that sounded cool, so I played with an orc necromancer.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
Don't know if it makes thematic sense, but that's what I was.
Yeah.
And you have sort of like switch between if you're doing like a civil action, or like going around just trading with stuff, or you can go into skirmishes and fight monsters, and that's where it becomes like a standard map dungeon crawl thing.
Yeah. From chip theory games, right? So with all the chips.
The health of the monsters is stacks of chips, which is pretty cool. Easy to see how much health everybody has. To be honest, I'm not sure I totally understood the rules, because Nick was managing all of the monsters and saying, this guy will go here, this guy will go here. So I was just like, to me, it almost felt like playing a computer game. I just, cool, he does that.
Yeah.
I'll run over here and shoot him with this. And but they all the monsters had very many different rules for how they moved and attacked, and this one is vulnerable to fire, and this one is blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So even the battle felt kind of puzzly, to the way that you could sort of anticipate programmed moves, and you had to go and pick some locks, and I have time for that now while he's fighting that guy, and
definitely.
So it felt more like a puzzle than a action-backed battle, I would say.
Yeah, definitely tactical in that sense, right? Because you go like, okay, so maybe this turn I go there. You need to react to what's happening, right? So yeah, cool. Yeah, nice pick. All right, we are moving fast now.
Oh yeah.
Number 8 already. For me at least.
Yes. I got confused there for a second.
Yeah, and it is not a remake of an older game.
Ooh.
But it's a dual version.
Ooh.
Not so old game. It's the White Castle duel.
Yeah.
And we have played that together on the channel. So if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. Pretty tight games. It got a little bit of that tight feeling from the White Castle, where you only have 12 action and then the game is over. And 6 of them are placing your workers / token out, and 6 of them are returning them back.
Mm-hmm.
And you really want to avoid having a turn that's like, okay, I'm just getting a coin or something like that, right? You really want to like ramp up as much as possible. There's a lot of cool little combo opportunities, and I really enjoy that in games where I get to go, I don't know, I can go there, and that will give me this card, which will help my engine here in the next turn. I don't think Ulrik is a 2-player only game, right? It's a dual game. We'll do this, so then I can do it. And that can really be satisfying. And I just like the whole aesthetic. Like, if you like the White Castle, I think it is worth checking out.
Yeah, for the first few turns, it was very hard to wrap my head around okay, I'm placing a red thing, but I'm getting the white bonus because I'm placing on top of something white. That just took a few turns for me to. Not that it's very complicated, but it's just I'm taking a red thing, so I'm looking at my red bonus. That's not how it works.
Yeah, for me
until the later half of the game.
Exactly, and which makes it even harder in the first half, right? Because you know it changes up at some point. Cool.
Yeah, that was a very cool game. I think I played it before I made this list.
Oh yeah. Before or after you made the list?
I played it before I made the list. After I made the list.
That makes sense.
My head got confused there. No, yeah, it feels easier to get into than White Castle for sure.
Yeah, agree.
You can sort of see all the scoring from the get-go, more or less.
Yeah.
Where in White Castle I was a little bit more, okay, I'm just gonna go and get some stuff and see what happens.
And also in White Castle, one scoring area multiplies with the other scoring area, your warriors, and the one that goes up the castle. So, you know, that can be hard to see how much is that.
In your first play, that can be a little bit daunting. Here, I thought it was pretty obvious how everything scored, which made for an easier... It's easier to give people a good first impression of the game, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and you really feel like you can strategize from the beginning.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. Okay, my number 8 is Rising Cultures.
Oh.
I've talked a lot about this game. It is a 1v1 civilization builder. This means that you can only play 2, so you're sitting opposite each other. I'm playing the Romans, Ayub is playing the Persians, for instance.
Sure.
And they have different asymmetric rules. Generally, the flow of the game is it's 7 rounds. In each round, you draw 4 cards. You will only play 3 of them during this round. You can play them in 3 different ways. And there's a 4th way they can have an effect, but that's a cascading thing that I will not explain. But again, this idea of multi-use cards, they can be resources, they can be military, or they can be like your buildings. So every time you choose to do something, you choose not to do the other options with that card, right?
Yeah.
So you play 3 cards, then there's some in between round scoring, then some income, and you go again, do it 7 times, boom, done.
Yeah.
This was much simpler than I thought it would be. Even when I saw the box, I was like, I was expecting like a big civilization game.
Yeah.
I've told this story many times on the channel, but I saw like a playtest of it with the prototype, and I was like, oh, this sounds really cool with the asymmetric factions, and it is really cool. It's just much more trimmed down and lean and streamlined than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I really hope they will make an expansion with more factions.
Yeah.
The only reason it's so low on my list is that the 2 Romans and the Persians feel like introduction factions, and then the Egyptians and the Babylonians are very, very asymmetric and like totally different to play. So it feels like I only have half a game because once you played it a few times, I feel like the 2 starting factions are not that interesting, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aske.
Well, they are probably needed for the game to make sense, right?
The game just needs 2 more actions to actually function as an asymmetric game.
And hopefully they might come in the future. I only got to try one of the simpler factions while I saw my opponent do one of the cooler one. So it didn't make my list for that reason, because then I was like, oh, this looks much more interesting. But I can definitely see it happening down in the future. So
I really feel like I haven't done it yet, but I feel like this is a game where it would be cool for me to play the Persians, you to play the Babylonians, and then immediately switch.
Yeah.
Because then you sort of know the strategies of the other person, because every faction has their own deck, and there's lots of times in the game where you get a choice of putting it top or bottom, or so if you know what the other guy knows that you know, then that becomes like a chess fun. It becomes more like a chess game, right? Where you have some knowledge about the other person's strategy and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
I would enjoy that.
And of course, he said sorry to the designer because he knows the designer. But yeah, very cool. We are back to my number 7.
Number 7.
I said back to. This is the first time we hear of it today.
Back to you.
And it's actually one of the games I played most this year.
Cool.
2025. Including games that are like all those, not just from the 2025 games. And it is Shards of Infinity. And it's a deck building game. And I used to have the old Shards of Infinity, and Shards of Infinity Saga Collection came out around January 2025 with new cards. Some old cards were re-implemented and balanced, and then it came out with like.
Is it a deck builder? Or?
It's a deck builder.
Okay,
it's a pure deck builder.
I don't know anything about it.
Sorry, and it came out with a saga mode, which is essentially a little campaign mode that I played through in the beginning.
You played the camping game?
Yeah. It's one of my goals.
You're growing.
But it's just such a nice, straightforward deck building games. I do enjoy those. It has this thing, and I think it was one of the first deck builder games I tried that managed to do more than just one thing with what should I do with my leftover money.
Mm-hmm.
And here you have two options. One is you can pay to get mastery, and once you reach certain mastery, certain cards becomes better. Deal 2 damage, but if you have 10 mastery, deal 5 damage. So they're also upgrading your cards. They're also upgrading your character, which will have like 2 relics, or I think they were called relics. So in level 10, you will, once your mastery is level 10, you get to pick one of them and put them in your discard pile, and then do some crazy stuff, of course. So it's really nice. Very, very, very small asymmetry in that sense, but enough to be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna try and get to mastery 10. You might not even do that every game, right? And then once you have mastery 20, one of the cards you start with in the game says infinity damage, and that's the infinity shard, hence the name Shards of Infinity. So that's one way to try and win if you're going for like a very defensive strategy. Very rarely have I seen that being the way to end, but I have seen it, and it's pretty cool when it happens. But yeah, that's my pick, Shards of Infinity.
To infinity and beyond.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I have heard you mention the title many times. I have never played it. My next game is not exactly a game.
Okay. What a way to start.
It is City Space Agencies.
It's
an expansion. A little bit of a cheat there. City is very high on my list of many types of board games.
Yeah.
Not to spoil other videos. I really like it. It's a space game. You watch the heavens looking for signs of life. I'm not gonna go into all the details of the base game. This expansion is nothing crazy. It just does everything every expansion to every game should do.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
It adds just, 40 new cards to the deck, which is not expansion relevant. It's
but
just
exciting.
Yeah. It's just more stuff.
Yeah.
Which you can even put in without using any of the expansion stuff. Boom, done. Then it adds some new solo stuff, which I haven't looked into. Then it adds some quick start mode, where instead of playing 5 rounds, you play 4 rounds. You play the same amount of physical time in the human world because you just take more actions. But it means that you get running faster. So you don't have to spend the first round just doing, I pay 1 to fly here, boom, done.
Yeah.
I personally kind of like that grinding start, and then I feel the difference to when I do my super actions in the end of the game. But I do understand why they made it, because most people just want those endorphin hits every time they take a turn. So that's really good.
Yeah. And do you feel the grinding has just moved a bit, so that the end is also more crazy than before?
No, I think the turns have been more...
Okay.
I think they just did... The first 2 turns are bigger.
Yeah.
Which I have not played enough to support this statement, but which maybe it can make for bigger runaways if you make a small mistake in the beginning, and I have more resources than I can maybe
it could be
escape from you earlier. Not a big problem. For me, it's a feeling thing that I kind of like this grinding start, and then but I will always play with it, because if you want to play with the factions, the asymmetric factions, they require the quick start, at least to be balanced according to the designers.
Yeah.
That is where the game goes through the roof for me, because now you have asymmetric factions. Before, everybody had the same starting money. So this gives you different starting resources, different starting income, and some special ability, which can be like change out some of your cards, or whenever you get a pink life trace, you also get this bonus, or like many crazy different things. Most of them are once per round, so 4 times in the game. or some of them are triggerable.
Yeah.
Like every time you do something, you get this.
And I do appreciate that they did. If you're new to it, these 4 factions are a bit simpler to play.
Yeah.
Not weaker, just simpler to play. So you can start like that or give it to someone who's new. So you can actually introduce this expansion directly, right? You wouldn't necessarily have to.
Yeah, because the direct comparison is of course a Terraforming Mars Prelude, which I would always play with.
Yeah.
With the one caveat that it is a lot of information to throw at a new player.
Yeah.
So you have to choose between 2 or 4 corporations and these X amount of prelude cards and 10 cards, and now you have to make a strategy for the whole game. And you don't know the rules. Go! That can be a little bit... And I think for this one, I don't feel like the choosing your starting cards is of course it's important, but I don't feel like it's such a big decision.
Yeah.
And then of course it has 3 new aliens.
Which is also exciting.
Which is very exciting. But for me, the most coolest part of this game, this expansion, is the 40 new cards and the asymmetric factions. That's what I really...
Space agencies, right? The name of the expansion.
That's the name of the expansion.
Cool.
Yeah, I have only played with, I think personally, 3 of them and seen maybe 9 of them.
Yeah.
So there's still something to explore.
Yeah, and I tried the expansion twice so far, and I'm also hyped to go deeper inside.
Yes.
All right, that's not an adult joke. That's a board game thing. Cool. My number 6 is a crossover.
Cool.
With you, of course. And it is the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era.
I thought it would be there somewhere.
Yeah. You already mentioned one of the things that I think is completely awesome, and that is, of course, the creation of character in the beginning of the game. It's just cool to go, no, I want to be a necromancer, or I'm going to be a spider or whatever, and then I'm going to be an orc or a human or whatever, and those things is just so cool. And then you also get these weapons that you choose from, and like you mentioned, these different tracks, and whenever you would get like a new weapon in the game at some point, that will have to go on one of those tracks, and upgrading that will give you more dice for that weapon, but then you can get much more max life, for example.
Yeah.
That's very, very, very cool, and it's just nice. I'm not normally a big fan of dice chuckers, but here it felt like my different die rolls are different types of attack. And there is some mitigation, but it's very rare that I felt like I just do 0 things because I rolled a miss.
Yeah.
Even the misses are some sort of energy that you get.
Yeah, you get this...
Exactly.
This resource that you can spend later, which I can't...
To do other stuff.
What it's called? Vigilance or something?
Might be, I don't remember. Resilient? No,
yeah,
I don't.
Something.
I don't. Yes. Anyways.
Nick, put it in the comments.
Anyways, and that's super cool because it can either work with your character or whatever, right? So I really enjoyed that. And the second thing, it was a campaign game that took, like you said, 12 to 15 hours. That's awesome. That means it doesn't feel like an insane commitment where we need to make sure we can see each other again. Our great last member of the Board Game Nerds is also the type of guy that makes us play it all in one day when it happens, which is cool. I like that, today is this day. So that's just very cool. And that even more so makes me feel like you could go into it with like, oh, now it's this character. Next time it's this character, right? It's just not this character for 100 hours. And it feels like, oh, I made the wrong decision. Even if it doesn't feel like my style, it was still exciting to try. So... Yes. Anyways, number 6, because it's not the type of game I normally play, but I do think it's the best type I've seen of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing I forgot to mention about the battle is that the defense is kind of tricky to figure out. Yeah. You can have some I can't exactly remember, but you roll your dice, and then some characters have like space where they can store their dice if they roll shields, and then when they get attacked, they can sort of like fight back. So it can even be stronger to sort of pass and then wait for the opponent to attack you, and then you can retaliate. And
you can change these different stances, and depending on what stance and decide how you roll and stuff. So lots
really of cool stuff game in that game.
So that was my number 6.
Cool. I have another expansion.
All right.
This is one of those where I was like, when I was doing the list, like, really? Is that 2025? And it is Dune Bloodlines. Dune Imperium Bloodlines.
That was early 2025.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Maybe I even bought it in 24 maybe, and got it. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I saw the list, I was like, no, because Essen happened, and everything before Essen feels like a long time ago.
Yeah, many years ago.
No, Dune Imperium also a favorite game of mine, very high on all of the lists that I could potentially make. This one, again, it does nothing crazy. It adds 2 new modules that I would easily play without, which is like some special army units, the Sardaukar, which gives you some special ability when you have them in battle, and then gives you some contracts which rewards you for going to specific boards on the map. Those are fine. I could play with them or without them. Doesn't really matter to me. Again, what it does, more cards and more leaders. That's basically why I got it. And for this game, the leaders matter a lot when you play. And if you're Dune nerd who's read all the books, like somebody in this group, then every time you see a leader, you're like, Pirate de Reese. Of course, he's like the trader guy who can manipulate the deck. And okay, Baron Harkonnen, he just wants to send his troops to die. And like all of the characters are so
thematic in that sense.
And the way they work supports the way their character is built in the novels, which again doesn't matter if you don't know it, but if you know it, I'm like, so nice.
Nice, cool. And does Bloodline work very well with both Uprising and?
Don't buy it if you don't have Uprising.
For Uprising, then mostly. Yeah.
They say it can work with both, but then actually, first time I played this expansion, I brought it to my friend's house. And for some reason, I have both Uprising and Imperium. And I brought the wrong box. And I was unpacking, I was like, oh, damn. And then the rulebook says, you can play it with both versions. But then when you start reading, like, if you don't have Uprising, don't use these cards and take this out. And so you feel like you are
missing out.
Yeah.
All right.
And the setup is,
Okay.
So, yeah. Well, if you have owned both and want to switch between them, then that's impossible because you have to take stuff in and out all the time. But it feels like you're using half the content, so
all right,
don't bother.
All right. Well, now you know. We're in the top 5 now.
Top 5.
The top of the crop.
Ooh la la.
And my first here, we just went from 2 rather big games, I would say, Elder Scrolls and Dune. So of course, we got to go to a much smaller box.
Oh, I'm going to follow you.
And it is a tag team.
Ui.
Little auto battler, hit to hit, pick 2 characters and mix their decks, and then, craziness from there. Really, really cool game.
Mix their 2 cards.
Mix their yes.
Only 2 cards.
Just 2 cards in the beginning. But the rest you mix and you will draw from there and add it to those 2 cards, right? And it's just so cool to play. And everybody I showed it to has always been like, oh, that's nice. Oh, okay, let's try with new characters. Because it takes between 10 and maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a long game, I would say. And it can even be shorter than 10, depending on things. And like you said, it's just 2 cards first. You flip it. Oh, I attack. Who do I attack from my...
And we both flip the card at the same time?
Exactly. I attack the one that you flipped, right? So if my attack, I don't get to choose which of the 2 characters. It depends on which card you flipped. And now I know the order of that. And we're just adding a new card every round.
Yeah, so I know next time, if Ayub's first card was the attack with the black character, then I know that'll be the one next time as well.
Exactly.
Unless
I put my card on top.
But you're not allowed to change the order of your deck, right?
Exactly. So you can still kind of game some things. There's a little bit of rock, paper, scissors sometimes when you play it, which is fine because it's so fast as well. But it's really also this high because I think they really managed the characters to feel so different in such a small box game. One who's a support type of character that confuses people and make them hit themselves and can heal his allies. One who's a big tank that protects the damage. So many different ones.
Yeah, they feel very... I don't want to say thematic, but like typical. Like they have a very stereotypical cartoon character type, right?
And then, of course, the whole idea that they did the thing with there's a sword in a stone on a piece of paper that says 2026 is... we're waiting for that expansion, which will probably have some King Arthur and hopefully more characters. So, yeah. My number...
And I even heard somebody say that they're working on something that is not King Arthur expansion.
Oh, yeah. Exciting. But a secret for now.
I mean, he didn't tell me anything else, but...
I shouldn't have said that. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's a good game. My next game is not such a small box, but a smaller box than, well, not a smaller box actually, smaller game. This is a game that I have been involved with the playtesting of, so just know that I'm not physically endorsing it or anything. It is Hutan, Life in the Rainforest. This is, again, was this 2025? Because the first time I played it was many years ago.
Yeah.
And also, I thought it came out last year, but apparently it didn't. This, to me, is a very good Gateway to Gateway Plus game, because they have 3 different sort of levels you can play it at. And it has a really cool table presence, because you're basically just doing a polyomino game, where you're building your own polyomino with the flowers, but you're drafting cards, which has a certain number of flowers on it, and you put those flowers into your rainforest area. Everything has to be adjacent, and you want to have the same flowers in the same area, and there's a whole system around that. And that's pretty simple puzzle. And then when you do a double flower on a space, you get a tree. This tree is like a 3D tree that you take. So it has a
nice table presence.
Once you've played 5 or 6 rounds, somebody walks by, they're like, "Oh, what is that?" I've played it at conventions, and people are like,
Not if you play at home, then.
Well, that would be impressive if they see it from the yard and come over and knock. No, I think it really has a cool table presence.
Yeah.
And I have played it with kids, not small kids, like 12, 15, 14 years old.
Soon to be adults.
Soon to be adults. They do have a nice way that you can ramp it up, where in the easy level you don't get any minus points, you just do it as good as you can, and then you count your points, and everybody will get more or less the same because there's not a lot of penalties. Then in the next level you have penalties for not completing the areas with the right flowers, so you can get more swingy results. And then in the real game you have goals to play for. Like you flip these 5 or 6, you must have an animal on the edge of the board, or red areas score more, or standard goal stuff, which for us is very simple, but for somebody who's getting into more complex games, it's like, oh, now I have to think about that too when I'm picking. So I think it's really cool that they made this different levels.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to try the game, because just like you, was involved in some of the prototype testing, but I haven't played it or seen it since then, basically. So yeah, but nice pick. All right, my number 4 was actually one of my most anticipated games for the years. Number 1, to be fair.
Ooh, I know this one.
But it's here right now, and it is Natera New Beginnings. Really, really cool game. Really looking forward to also go more into it. Tableau building with a bunch of cards. Worker placement with a bunch of different workers, like different animal factions that can do different things slightly. Some might even have more workers or less workers. And then this board that I don't think really seen before, where there are some of the worker placement spots are covered or like flipped in the beginning of the game, and then when somebody reaches a certain spot on the track, each area of the board has its own track, they flip. But you're only allowed to go there if you are at that point in the track. So all of a sudden people might, I don't want you to run away too much on one track, because if a really cool spot shows up that fits me, I want to be able to.
And those spots are different in every game,
exactly.
Right? There's different tiles you can flip.
Exactly. So that's already really cool. And then having cards with 4 different resource costs, and you just need to pay one of them, is also something I really enjoyed, because it can really make you try and get some different resources for different cards. It's just, all in all, pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to playing more.
I played it once. Good experience. I think I kicked Ayub's ass, but I don't know how. just did a lot of things. Yeah. The weird or the interesting thing in this game for me was on this card there was 4 different costs, but which one do I pay? You decide.
Yeah. That's really nice.
I was kind of playing in the way where I just got 1 resource, because that's the one I got a lot of, so just get more of that.
and that also kind of played a little bit into the faction you were playing. So could be different, of course.
It was very cool. Very cool.
All right.
Cool artwork as well.
Yeah.
My next game has very cool artwork.
Oh.
And it is bloody.
Oh.
And it is Moon Colony Bloodbath.
Nice.
This is like a 1950s retro future style cartoony. The artwork. Basically, you have this base on the moon where people have apparently been living for years and years and years, I think. And then stuff starts happening.
Yep.
The robots and the factories go crazy and try to kill the people, and that's what the story is. What the game is that you have one deck in the middle with 6 cards in the first round, I think. 4 work cards and 2 something else.
Twists.
Twists is what they're called. And you flip a card. Everybody does that, whatever that card says. In the beginning, you get to choose your work action. Every time you play a work card. Pretty easy. And then the 2 other cards, put some other cards into the deck. Easy. But there's no more work cards that come into to play.
Yeah.
Only bad cards go into the deck.
Exactly.
So in the first 3-4 rounds, you're like getting income, you're building some buildings, which gives you benefits. Oh, now I can ignore this cost if I have to pay food, or I can get more food when I get food, or whatever it is. Basically, you have, I think, 4 different resources you can get. And you build these buildings, but then at a certain time, there's just too many horrible cards in the deck, where the robots are killing people or stealing your food,
and there's just longer and longer between those work cards, right? So,
and then you have to, whenever you, if you can't pay the people you need to, you have to sell your building, and the building has people in it, so they die when you sell the building.
Yeah.
And the first one to lose all their people, they lose, and then the winner is the one with the most people left. So you're not really engine building. You're engine building a little bit, and then you're trying to make your engine not fall apart, and then you're trying not to lose more than you're trying to win. That's how I describe this game.
It's really not a game for the faint-hearted, but it's really fun. And I remember in the beginning, I actually misunderstood how the game ended. Yeah. So, but it was still exciting, even if I went out to see. Of course, we were kind of equally. So if somebody went out in the very early rounds, which is hard, then it would be boring, right? But still, and it's just even better now that you see ends there and see who wins.
Yeah, because I mean, first of all, player elimination, it would be kind of fitting in this game actually. But as you say, it probably will not take more than 10 minutes after that, because it's. You can't really strategize. You just flip some cards and laugh when you die. And oh, why did you flip that card? You bastard! And
my favorite thing is that you can add these cards that are specific just to your character.
The perks.
And whenever you flip a perk, there will be a picture of your character, and then say either get some money, get some people. And whenever it flips, I'm always like, oh, don't mind if I do, everybody. I will just take I will just take a little bit of money.
Oh yes.
All right.
Ayub is that kind of guy.
All right. Let's move on. Oh, it's my perk again. All right, everybody. But
those feel good.
It's fun and games.
I'm not sure how much they actually do to the balance, but they feel very nice. Yeah. Feel very nice.
So yeah, it was just shy of my list, but I really enjoyed it. Then I fell a little bit down to it again, but I'm looking forward to play it more. It's just been a long while for me as well.
For me, I call this the gamer's party game.
Yeah.
Like if you're really into engine building and deck building and tableauing, then this is very simple, and you can just do it in half an hour
and have a blast.
But if you're a little bit new to all these concepts, then it feels like something major is happening, and oh no, I'm losing, and so it can be a very big experience, I think, if you're like new to these kinds of games.
Yeah. Cool. All right, into the top 3.
Ooh la la.
So my first game here of the top 3, which is of course number 3, and not number 1 or 2. It's Recall.
Oi.
Really cool game. If you like Revive, this is like the spiritual successor. They do have some small things in common, but they actually work quite different, I will say. But they do have this concept still where you, instead of sliding cards in your machine and then do the card and do the machine thing, you here have some key cards that you slides in, and they work a little bit differently, but very, very cool. once you slide in a key, you both get to do whatever is on the key. That might not be a lot or maybe nothing in the beginning of the game, but as you go on and you upgrade your keys, they'll give you actions or resources, and then you also do whatever the key slot you slide it into does. So there's already a lot of combination with this key. I want this stuff from, and then maybe go in here because if I get the stuff from the key first, then I can do that action better, and so on and so forth. Still has this board thing where you can flip something, gain stuff, and something you pointed out the first time we played it together, which I think became even clearer to me how cool it is once you did it, was that whole fact with you are upgrading your engine as you get points. So it didn't do this say that word.
Distinction.
Thank you. Distinction that a lot of games do, where either you build up and get a lot of points later, or you get points but it will fall a little bit behind later maybe. No, here you actually need to get some points to build up and all of that. Very cool game.
Yes, it is. I had a very good teacher teach it to me. Maybe we'll hear more about it.
All right.
It was very cool. My next game is also maybe not a game.
How many maybe not a games can you have? All right.
You know what? You know this one.
Let's hear
it's the biggest fighting fantasy book ever made. It is Vantage, of course. Stonemeyer's crazy open world exploration sandbox point of view communication game.
Yeah.
I want to say. That was a lot of words. How do you explain this game if people don't know it?
Well, people most likely do know it.
People most likely do, but we have to assume that we have to explain something, right?
Yeah.
So basically, like I said, this works like a fighting fantasy book. You know, these books where you're at a crossroads. If you go left, go to page 28. If you go right, then you flip, and you fell into a trap, you died. Hopefully not, but
but it happens sometimes.
In this game, you do that, but you're like somehow you're crash landed on some planet.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know which one, and you don't know where you are on the planet, and you get a card, and this shows you like from your personal point of view, what can you see?
Yeah.
Maybe I can see a mountain in the distance and a small lake and a stream, and there's some fish there, and there's some yellow flowers over here, and then I describe I can see it, Ayub cannot see it, and I describe the picture to him, and then he says, I did an action which told me all the yellow flowers on this planet is poisonous, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you have like 6 different actions you can do, which is color-coded, and they're sort of like thematic, so the blue ones are always
navigating
jump or swim or something, and red ones are like attacking, and the yellow, I don't remember exactly, but they're like thematic, but you can't choose, I want to break down the door, unless there's an option there. Then I say to Ayub, I want to do blue action number 225, which is my location. Then he reads a story entry, and it tells me what the skill check is, and the skill check is a certain number of dice I have to roll, and I will always succeed. The question is just how much do I have to pay to succeed? That's a little weird, I think.
Yeah.
But then you just play along. It feels very cozy and non-dangerous, and there's this resource thing where you have to manage your dice. Every time you roll all your dice, you take all them back, and you can place them on your character to get benefits and stuff. But the main thing about the game is this, which I'm not sure how much I actually gain from telling you about my place, but it's just cool to sit here and explain where I am and where you are. And I have played it a few times, but I imagine if you play it 10 times, then you sort of get to see the bigger story, I assume.
Yeah.
For me, this is just here so high for the concept and the boldness of the design, because it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
When you tell me about it, I'm like, that sounds weird and unbalanced and would never work. But it was a very cool experience playing it.
And it feels pretty innovative in that sense.
Yeah.
And probably one of the more divisive games I heard about this year from just in general, what people think. It almost seems like either you wow or you are like, but
I think he spent 8 years designing it.
Yeah, I think I heard that as well. Yeah,
designing all the places and
and how they react with each other. It's pretty cool.
Crazy game. Yeah.
All right.
Crazy experience, I want to say, because I'm hesitant to call it the game actually, because of this no failure thing, and you're like, when I played it one of the times, we just kept doing stuff, and then at some point the story just tells you you survived long enough. There's a rescue ship coming to get you.
But you can technically lose and die, right? If you lose too much of your stamina and all that.
But we just survived long enough. We didn't complete a mission, but we just survived long enough, and then the game said, fine, you're done.
Yeah. and every game is different with missions and stuff, so it might be.
But it was very, very, very cool.
Nice. All right. My number 2 is an auction game. And an auction game
of course it is.
That I really, really enjoyed.
Is it raw?
Took me by surprise. Well, it starts with the same 2 letters.
Oh.
Railway Boom.
I knew that.
Almost.
It's not a 2025.
No, it's not.
No.
Although it's made by 25th Century Games. But anyways, that has nothing to do with this. The new edition, at least. So, Railway Boom is an auction game, in essence, where you have different auction rounds where you auction with different types of resources and then having to use those resources in the same round. So the first round, just as an example, for example, you're using lumber. Whoever kind of is willing to use the most lumber gets to buy a wagon for their train first. But they also cost lumber. So if I'm saying, you know what, I'm just going to use all my lumber and make sure I win, I actually can't really. There is something that is free, but I can't really afford all the juicy extra stuff.
Which is why you want to be first.
Which makes this like a really juicy decision. You can always make 2 of your other resources into another resource. So maybe I'll make one of my technology and my coal into a lumber. But then I'm also making it harder for me in the other auction rounds. Which is like so intense. And then what I think is so genius, which is probably why I like it so much and why it's so high up on my list, is that whoever in a 4-player game, which I think where the game shines, but whoever ended up bidding the most pay full price, second player the same, but third only half, and last gets their pick for free. But there's also not much left. But then they have a lot of resources for the next round, which is such a cool little, I don't want to call it a catch-up mechanic, but like you made a tactical decision of, I don't need to go full in now because what I will get is fine enough, and later on, so nice.
I was going to ask about the player count, but you answered that.
Yeah.
But I can even, when you talk about that payment system, I can even imagine a very cunning player be like, okay, I don't really need this, but I'm going to bid like 5, hoping all the other players jump me, and then I push them up, but I just get stuff for free, and that mind game can be insane. I haven't played it. I'm just imagining.
And along those roads, the cool thing is, let's say you bid 3. I don't want to overbid you, but I know one player can't, and one other might. So I can just bid 2, which is allowed in this game. You don't have to overbid the current highs. So I bid 2, the next player goes past, the next player then go 4, and now I pass, making sure I'm third and only have to pay 1 because I'm paying half.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really cool. So anyways, that's my pick, Railway Boom.
Haven't tried it. Want to play it. Very cool story about how you got that game. We'll get to that in another episode, I think.
Yes.
Yes. My next game is a crossover.
Oh.
You have a guess?
What's something I already...
Something you already mentioned?
Team? No. Oh, Natera. No, Recall.
Can
Natera,
you recall what you talked about?
Yeah,
for sure. Recall. Yes, Ayub talked about the action selection system, which is very cool. It feels more simple than Revive because you don't have all the different places around, but still, it's like the combination of the actions you can do is like. If we are doing the Revive comparison, I feel like the map feels more important in this one. In Revive, I felt like I was doing stuff on the map to feed my engine. Here, based on one play, so I feel like there was a lot out there that I had to be in a specific
place, spot,
type of terrain. Like there's 4 or 5 different types of terrain, and have to be in specific terrain to build this building, which will give me the scoring condition, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, and then the point track giving you access to engine building options is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And something that's also similar to Revive is you get these action discs. I don't remember what they're called, like the gem things when you dig in the soil and
like
when
gemstones, I think maybe it's called.
which are these free action things that you can do, and you can put them on different spots in your engine.
Yeah.
That really makes the combo thing go like, okay, I do this action, but then I do this gemstone thing, which gets me this card, which can give me a chest that I can flip, and then this is an extra action for that, and which can be a little bit to the long chaining side for me. And what did I do, and how many actions did I take, and but yeah, it feels like this demands more plays for sure. I really felt like every action I did made me go up some track, either the point track or there's like these 3 tribes that you can change for every game, and every time I did something, I was like, oh, I got a little bonus here, I got a little bonus here, so it really does this endorphin punch every turn.
And I was like, how is he going up all these tracks?
Yeah, there's definitely some lucky timing, not lucky, but there's a lot of timing in the way you do things and get the gems that you need for the next action, and hoping Ayub doesn't go there. And
that's a lot of the board that you mentioned, you know, how you use things for the board. I definitely, just about the comparison, feel like they streamline some things. You know, your own board is also not all these weird lines going over, or all these 2 crosses, so this opens up now. That doesn't mean I like it more than Revive, personally. That would be fun to play both games in one day and then really feel a comparison. But it's a really cool game that stands on its own. So great pick. I already picked it as well, so you know I like it too.
Do you think we have a double crossover number 1?
Now we do, apparently.
Double crossover. A perfect crossover.
Perfect crossover.
Should we do it on 3?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3. Galactic Cruise.
Yes. Awesome.
Which is game. Also, is that a 2025 game to me? But it is.
Yeah. And also, I mean, waiting for it.
Yeah, you backed it, and
exactly. So
I played it on Essen 2024, a demo. So, and I watched a lot of playthroughs and stuff, and I knew I bought it. So in my mind, it's
exactly,
it's way back.
And it did arrive around February, March. I think March, early March. But really, really cool, and just such an amazing feeling of, you know, go to a worker placement spot and do 2 things. But maybe the things on the spots next to it, if there is, you know, this connection in between. If it's your own, it's free. If it's someone else, well, you can just pay, you know. I really do some cool stuff. Very positive player interaction, right? Oh, I pay you to do this, or I go there, even though you don't block the spot, but now you are pushed back to your own board and you get a benefit. Yeah, all that stuff. And thematically, also very, very cool.
Yeah, and the thing about you can use each other's stuff makes sense because you're actually working in the same company, right?
Yeah.
You're working for this company who organizes cruise ships, but they are spaceships instead of
galactic
seafaring ships, right? So you go to different planets and stuff. Doesn't matter for the gameplay, but it's cool. But I just like that it makes sense that, okay, my colleagues in the other department invented this efficient fuel machine. Of course I can use it. I just have to pay them some internal income.
And of course, then you go up in the influence track and everybody likes you so much, so it's more like a favor, you know. It's you, like, you don't need to pay me.
If you have good reputation internally in the company, then you can do things for free, right? Because you're the R&D development, everybody wants to. When I was attending a boarding school, one of the older students said, okay, there's 2 people you always have to be friends with here, right? The cook and the janitor.
Yeah.
Because if your bed breaks or like your lock doesn't work, you have to be good friends with him. And if you like the cook, then you can. If cook likes you can go up and get some extra sugar in your.
He gives you a bigger portion, and
that's how this game works, right? You have to. Well, maybe a weird comparison, but.
And of course, there are some different setups with the. You know, you have these big workers. What are their special abilities in this game? We're also eagerly awaiting now the expansion coming out soon, which will do even more asymmetric stuff. I just think it's a really cool game. Beautiful looking, nice theme, although I'm not a huge theme hunter. I really think the theme did something nice for the game, and just awesome gameplay. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nick said it perfectly in another video. Every time I talk about this game, I just get happy.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It's just feels so nice fiddling with these systems and I get to launch a ship, and yeah. Um,
Nice.
I like generally in games shared infrastructure, not co-op, but like when we're building towards something together, kind of. And it not this game doesn't do it a lot, but the thing that we can use each other's technology and stuff makes it a little bit more open.
Feels it's towards that vein for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Very, very cool.
Did you have some things that almost made your list, honorable mentions, or?
I do.
All right.
I have one that you mentioned, which is Tag Team. This I keep when I talk about it, I'm like it should be in my list, but because it's just fun, good old fashioned fun, and the players, the characters seem so thematic. For me, what I don't like it, but it doesn't make it shine for me is the memory element. I have to think about, what did Ayub had in his fourth round? That's when he could block my attack, so if I put it before, then I hit him. But if he then puts another card on top, then I should put it here. And I feel like I should do that, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
I kind of just go like, okay, I put this card in here and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I feel like I should be. I know I would be able to think about it, but then he could just change it anyway. So.
Yeah, I think most of the time it can also just work with, unless it's specifically something you want to block, just the fact that, he's hitting this character a lot.
Yeah.
I should put this type of. So there's still, but I get what you mean.
It's very good. I'm not just saying that's why it's not high on my list.
Yeah.
And then I have Ruins, which is a John DeClaire card crafting, teach you ladder climbing game.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. It's just because you have sleeved cards, and it's it's a standard ladder climbing. I play 2 2s, you play 2 4s, and we go around until somebody passes, and you're getting rid of your cards. The one who gets rid of your cards first wins the round. Play X number of rounds, and then the last round is the final, and whoever wins the final is the winner. What's crazy about it is that there's a system where you can buy inserts for your cards. So this 2 is now 2 2s, or this 10 now is +4. So it can now be a 14, and then you flip the card inside, and it's a 18.
Yeah.
So suddenly you play like with cards that are initially from 1 to 10. You suddenly play like, I can play 4 20s.
Yeah.
What? It's very crazy, very fun. A little bit too long for what it is, and a little bit fiddly to put this in and out, and for what should be a little bit of a lighter game. That's the only reason. I think if I could play it in half an hour, it would be much higher on my list.
Yeah.
It just takes a little bit too long for what it is, I think.
And I think, from what I remember when I played it, there was also something about the end. All of a sudden, someone can really, come from the back and be in the final round where it's only 2 players in the final round.
Which would be better if it's a 30-hour game, right?
Yeah,
30
minutes.
Game.
Because I think I even won the game because of that, but it really made me feel like, man, I was behind, and it didn't feel good to win like that. So, but cool.
Yeah, because the final is the person who won the second to last game.
Yeah.
And the one who has the highest point. So you can always get in the final, which is something he obviously put in there to make it less punishing, right?
Yeah.
For the family groups. I have a few more, but could you go for some?
Sure. I have Druids of Edora, which is a Stefan Fell game. As you might know if you've seen some of the videos, I really like Stefan Fell.
Who? Stefan who?
It is on my shelf. I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, it feels, and from looking at the rules, it feels like it requires 3 players. And there's been some times when I wanted to try it, but then I was 2. But, and that was not possible. Then Ascension Tactics Inferno. Ascension Tactics is one of my absolute favorite games.
Never heard about it.
And the Ascension Tactics Inferno is
true.
a new standalone, which I have had in my house for a long time, which I haven't played because I paid somebody to paint the minis. And I'm picking them up tomorrow.
Ooh.
So.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And then 2 crazy games, Hot Streak and Magical Athlete. I got to try them quite late, and they're awesome for what they do, but they're not my general. I mean, I like Eurogames and stuff. I really enjoyed both of these games as well, especially Magical Athlete has been quite crazy. But these type of games are always awesome when you play them in the beginning, and I really want to see a few more plays and see how they hold up. But every I played it with has been like, what? It was a short story. It's a racing game, Magical Athlete. You draft some super crazy characters, and then you play 4 races, and you use one of the 4 characters for each race. And in one race, one guy was just, whoever shares spaces with me, I'll eat them, and they're out of the race. And another guy, whenever he's like a horse, whenever he passes somebody, he kicks them back. So he just passed somebody, kicked the guy back. He ended up in the space with the guy who eats somebody, and he's like, now you're out. It's like, what? But
yeah,
each single race is so fast that it didn't matter. It was fun.
Yeah. I don't have any comments about that. I'm happy that you like it.
Thank you.
I have 2 games that I'm sure would be on my list if I had played them more.
Yeah.
One is House of Fado. I only played it 2 with Ayub, and this doesn't feel like a 2-player game.
Indeed.
It depends very heavily on worker bumping, and the board doesn't scale, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's a light Vital Lacerda game, which makes it a medium-heavy game. And then Ada's Dream, which I have only played once. Just got it, and hopefully we'll play it very soon.
Yeah. I also have Ada's Dream as an honorable mention. I'm also unsure if is it listed as a 2024 or 2025?
I think it's a Kickstarter that is delivered in 2025.
2025, okay. And then the last thing I also have was Etherstone, which is a drafting game. With
Very
some
beautiful
cool,
looking. I haven't
very
tried it.
beautiful looking. I think it's really cool. The drafting is so nice, and then the actual play sometimes feels like it's not always been equally for both players. But I imagine with more plays, people know what to draft and stuff like that. So I'm a little bit unsure how much I like it, but I had some awesome plays, so it almost made the list as well.
Cool.
Nice.
That was the list.
Yeah.
Cool.
We didn't have as many crossovers as
I think
any of us thought. I
think I hit it. No, maybe we had 5 actually. Galactic Cruise, Recall, National Economy, and Elder Scrolls. So 4.
4.
Da-da-da-da. I thought you would have something else than Elder Scrolls.
Moon Colony.
Yes.
Yeah. That was also close for me. I just think I played it in the beginning of the year. I went a little bit like, after a while. But it's one of those games where if I play it again, it will be like, whoa, it's fun.
And if you play it too much, then it falls out because it doesn't have that much to offer, right?
Yeah.
I played it 3 times in one day, and that was a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
I thought you might have Natera, but maybe we played it quite a bit after the list. And the White Castle.
Only once, yeah.
Yeah, and the White Castle Duel. Those were the 2 games that are...
Cool.
But yeah.
With all that said, this was our top 10 games of this year, 2025. If you're listening or watching in 2030, let us know if any of these games are still in the market. Yeah. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't.
And also, feel free to ask us in the comment at that time. Maybe we changed our mind about some of them.
And let us know what your best game from 2025 is. After you've done that, you have to go check our YouTube channel. There's lots of cool playthroughs there. We have snapshots of our game nights on Instagram. We take cool pictures and write a little story of what happened in the game. On Blue Sky, there is news about all of our activities. On Patreon, we have exclusive videos for our Patreon supporters where we show you a little bit behind the scenes and stuff with a little bit more opinions maybe, or stuff we don't want out there. And all of this stuff you can find down below in the description. With all of that said, I was Ulrik.
I was Ayub.
And we will see you in the next one. Bye.